Good morning, guys, and welcome to Tuesday, week 17 of my 16-week marathon training program. Oh boy. All right, nice and cold this morning. Cold, 70 degrees with 33% humidity. Certainly not complaining. And I have to tell you that training went really well today. All right, not too bad considering what took place. All right, 4.34 total miles. Any achievements? Holding steady at 53. That's fine. I'll probably be up to 54 tomorrow after today's run. And I'm going to go get my shower. And when I come back, I'll tell you about week 18, the new hope. Hey guys, good morning and welcome to Tuesday of week 18 of my 16-week marathon training program. Interval day. Also known as the New Hope. And I call it that for a very good reason. But before I get into that, let's go ahead and do our daily shot of wheatgrass. Alright. Now with that, and with respect to the fact that Tuesday's video is always short because gotta run off to work here soon, I call it the New Hope for a reason. Because last week as you guys know, the head just wasn't in the game, respectfully. And, oh God. Sometimes when you juice the wheatgrass, I think like little fibrous bits of grass get in there and they cling to the back of your throat. It just causes that scratchy feeling, which is why I needed to wash it down. But anyhow, so with respect to last week and my dismal performance as far as I'm concerned, last week my goal was to try to build from some volume. And so after carefully looking at everything and realizing that I've got 8 weeks left of this program before I actually race for reals this time, I've decided that trying to build speed is not where I need to be right now. So the focus is more on stamina and so in endurance. So what I've chosen to do was looking at my numbers and realizing, okay, the 6-minute mile is a very reasonable goal, but clearly not something I could sit there and repeat clearly multiple times, on Tuesday morning. So I said, okay, what is a realistic mile that I can make repeats out of? I liked it 6:15. Well, 6:15, nice, still a challenge. I was more concerned with volume. So then I said, well, ultimately, if I'm going to run a sub 3-hour marathon, and a 3-hour marathon is a 6:52 mile. A 6:52 mile gets you 3 hours flat. So if I want to run under that, then my goal pace with a little margin would be a 6:45. So I'm thinking, all right, if I'm going to be able, if my goal is to sustain a 6:45 pace, then a 6:30 mile should be very realistic as far as doing intervals with and building up that stamina, since clearly 6:45 is 15 seconds slower. And for those of us who run speed and things like that, you guys will agree that there is a noticeable, sometimes just marginal difference between, when you shave, 15 seconds off your pace or if you put it back on, depending on what you're trying to do. And so if you're hypothetically, let's say you're running a 7-minute pace, a 7:15 pace does feel noticeably, and again, depending on depending on your definition of noticeable, but a 7:15 pace does feel noticeably easier than a 7-minute pace. It just does. And now with that said, my goal is to run 6:30 mile or 6:30 pace during my intervals so that a 6:45 pace feels that same noticeable / marginally different, easier pace, if that makes sense. So that was the goal. And the new hope is simply that I achieved that. mostly due to time. I only did 3 intervals today, and you'll see here. First and foremost, I like their weather, although Google said it was 70 degrees. I don't think it really felt as cool as 68, but I'll go with 70. Covered just over 4 miles total. I was out there for just about 42 minutes, that's fine. One nice thing about running these 630s, real quick before I go into it, is that, and I shared this with you guys before, the humps, of course this is the warm, it doesn't count. These last three, and of course the mile dip is only because I crossed over the street. Yeah, as you guys know, sometimes when you're running from end of street to end of street, it's not entirely a full mile because depending on where you live, at least out here in Phoenix, a full mile will be technically the center of one major street to the center of the next major street, which means I'm in traffic twice. And since sometimes, even in the morning, it's not always feasible, that's why my miles tend to be 9800ths of a mile instead of a full mile. Whereas in this case, even here on the way back, the goal was to run, the goal was to, again, hold a 6:30 pace. And yes, I started out a little hot, which is fine. Then I kind of got settled in, fell off a little bit more, but still no more than, 8 or 9 seconds off the pace. But as you can see towards the end here, I did bring it back around, and I didn't lap the watch. Honestly, I didn't lap the watch only because I was in the middle of the street and I knew I was going to lap anyways. So, and I didn't stop. I just completed my trip home. So right about here, again, I recovered a little bit, but I still managed to keep my 6:30. Whereas even here, my second one, I come out a little hot. Granted, I'm running downhill a bit, and then I still managed to recover and again keep it tight. This one, yeah, I definitely started out good and hot here. 5:38, and it's quickly settled into what was supposed to be my 6:30 pace. And you can see the numbers. I did a really good job holding that pace. So, with that said, we might agree that a 6:30 pace is definitely more doable than trying to hold it even at 6:15, because you guys know even with 6:15, that's usually good for about the half mile, half mile, 2/3 of the way into it, and then I just seen a fall off pace. So, using the 6:30 as my baseline, I don't have apples to apples to share with you guys today, which is fine. But moving forward, I will, because I'm not going to try to pull up prior Tuesday runs because the speed is different and things like that. So this week I did 3. Next week I'll plan to do 4, and I'll keep building onto it to build my stamina that way. And so that's gonna be the focus of Tuesdays moving forward. So this way we will have apples to apples to compare to. And real quick, you can see here, okay. Even this told me a lot. This told me, yeah, I'm feeling better. I managed to pull, carrying 5-gallon paint buckets full of water, I managed to pull a muscle in my lower back, right back here on the left side. It's happened to me periodically before. It really sucks. And so, yes, sometimes I do lay on the floor, and sometimes I lay on tennis balls, because finding that pressure point to kind of help work it out does make a difference. It's not 100%, but clearly good enough to get these numbers. So with that, first mile, again, 9,900th mile, 6:32, not complaining. Average moving pace, 6:30, pretty tight there. Second one was 9,800ths of a mile, okay, that's fine. This one I did kind of get into the street a little bit, this one not so much. I brought it down to 6:29, okay. Average moving pace, 6:24, all right, not bad. And then my last one, that was a full mile, because I did run through the center of the street on my way home. Traffic was good, thank God, because it's kind of a blind spot. And I was really taking a crapshoot at that one. So my third one was a complete mile. Again, pulled off at 6:32, average moving pace 6:31. So moving pace and average moving pace, or average pace and moving pace, really tight. I'm really happy with that. I really cannot complain. Yeah, we saw from the graph at the beginning my hot dog when I first started out. But here, these second two clearly started out in a more manageable pace. Good, good. And even the heart rate was pretty realistic. Not too bad, to be honest with you. And to give you an idea as to my rest, okay, 413, 423, oh here, and 420. So again, really tight, under 5 minutes, you know, about the 420 mark overall. And my calories, kept that nicely under 100 calories, not complaining. So, and then real quick, because today is, you know, a short day, my training effect was only 3.4. Not too bad. In all reality, not too bad. 3.4. Now, based on the way I was feeling, could I have done this a fourth time? You know, could I have done this a fourth time and kept it at 630 flat? I think so. I think so. I think, you know, because I've never done 4 drills at that kind of pace. I think I would have felt the challenge more, but I think it was doable. So again, moving forward, I've got 8 more weeks. I will continue to build up my intervals, 1 mile every single week, and to keep working on that. And then, of course, as you know from Saturday, and for those of you who don't like the long videos, again, no one comment on it, so I don't know. I do apologize, but you know, Saturdays usually give me a little bit more time for stories and other things. But you saw from Saturday's video, ran 18 miles. That and was able to recover in just under 3 days. Not too bad. So the long runs do help the short runs. And this run will definitely help Thursday be a little bit easier. So they all work off of each other, which is nice. And so, and to wrap up today, again, training effects is only 3.4. I'm really not complaining about that whatsoever. Nothing else to really point out to you guys on this fact or on this as far as things that really stood out with me. But overall, today was a new hope. I really feel confident about it. I feel positive about the turnaround. You know, overall, yeah, I do feel tightness on the left side of my body. There's always that muscular imbalance. I don't know why. Since I'm right-handed dominant, I haven't quite figured it out. So I do take extra time to stretch. And if it wasn't for this pull muscle, like in my lower hip, I do feel pretty good. I do feel pretty good. You know, there's still just a little tightness, in my calves and feet, but it's getting better. It's getting better, and clearly it doesn't impede my running, so not too bad. So all in all, I feel positive. I feel hopeful that things will turn around in the coming 8 weeks. So that's all I've got for you today, because I definitely got to get out the door. If you like today's video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. I always address questions and comments. And if you're new to my channel, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I post a new video. Tuesdays are generally intervals. Thursdays are my tempo run days. And Saturdays are my long run days. And so be certain to subscribe if you're new to the channel, so they can keep up with my journey toward my first sub 3 hour marathon. That's all I've got for you guys today. You guys have a fantastic Tuesday, and I'll see you Thursday. Take care.